Hey everybody, my name's Tyler Hope. I'm a hazmat tech over here on Ladder 11. You may have seen me on some fuel spills and gas leaks throughout the city, but today I'm here at home at Station 11. Today I'm going to be going over carbon monoxide monitoring and hydrogen cyanide air monitoring. We have two different meters that we have on the ladder truck. We have the CO meter. Normally it's going to be a Toxarray Pro, similar to what you'd run for HCN. Ladder 11 uses the Sensit P100. It's the same basic thing though. And then for hydrogen cyanide, pretty much all the trucks are going to have your Toxarray Pro. First thing you need to do to start them up is just to cut them on. So I'm going to cut on the power, on this one. And it's going to go through its warm-up process. It's going to display its different alarms. It's going to make some obnoxious beeping sounds and whatnot. But the key is you want to make sure that it's warmed up. Make sure that it kind of gets used to the fresh air that hopefully you have in the cab. Once it's all warmed up, if you're getting high levels in the cab, you might want to go check out, go get the truck checked out at the garage. So I'm gonna let these warm up real quick. While I'm having those warmed up, I'm gonna go over the bump gas real quick, okay? So the bump gas, you only need to bump the carbon monoxide detector, okay? HCN, hydrogen cyanide, you don't have to worry about that, okay? That's specifically a special ops role, okay? Something I like to do in the mornings is I like to hook up my regulator to the gas cylinder just to make sure that we actually do have carbon monoxide bump gas in there. It's kind of a bad feeling when you get on scene and you didn't do your morning check and you realize, oh crap, we don't have anything, so what are we gonna do? We can't bump this thing, so we don't have any kind of confidence test to be able to figure out if the readings that we're getting are true or not. So I like to connect it. We do have gas in here, and I like to make sure that I do have the adapter that would go on to the meter. Ours probably looks a little bit different from most of the other ladders because, like I said, we use the Sensit as opposed to the Toxarray Pro, but you should have an adapter. Make sure it's there. It's a tiny little plastic piece. If you don't have it, you're not going to be able to bump accurately, okay? All right, so now that my meters are all warmed up, I'm going to check them and make sure that they're at 0 parts per million of CO and HCN, which they should be in ambient air. So I check them out, and as I'm going through a building, whether it's for a CO alarm that the ladders will get dispatched to, or after overhaul and stuff, I can take these and a lot of times you guys may see us with our gas meters and we're over our head or we might be down low. These you can just keep at your hip. You can have it attached to your turnout gear, whatever, because carbon monoxide and hydrogen cyanide both kind of mix through air, okay? They're not gonna rise or sink to the ground. The key for, or the reason that we do air monitoring for CO alarms is same as a regular fire alarm where a smoke detector's gone off. You want to make sure that there is no CO in that building because as it increases over time, it can start giving people some symptoms and whatnot. 35 parts per million is going to be our alarm level for this, and 4 parts per million is going to be your alarm level for hydrogen cyanide, your low alarm level, I should say. At 35 parts per million of carbon monoxide with a lot of exposure, so what you might expect in somebody's house if they have something burning kind of in a dirty fashion for a while, they're going to start having symptoms of headaches and tiredness and stuff like that. With hydrogen cyanide, normally you're not really going to encounter anybody with effects from that unless they've been involved in a fire, smoke inhalation and whatnot. So yeah, for your carbon monoxide alarms, make sure that you check out everything. Don't just walk in there and, you know, go through the motions and stuff. Be sure to check your gas appliances. Be sure to check your kitchens and stuff, even if it's electric. All your appliances are electric. Make sure that nothing's been burning in the stove or burning in the oven or anything like that. When you're doing overhaul, it's the same type of deal, okay? Monitor the entire area, make sure that there's no kind of elevated readings or anything like that before you take off your mask and your turnout gear. Your SCBA mask and your turnout gear, that's what protects you from this stuff, okay? Okay, so whenever you're running carbon monoxide alarm calls, you want to kind of have an idea of your approach. So with residential buildings, you want to make sure that there's 0 parts per million of carbon monoxide in there. There's no reason for there to be. It's not like we have trucks running in there. We shouldn't have any cars running in the garage or anything like that. We should not have anything uncleanly burning. On the other hand, with commercial buildings where you might have some vehicles running in there, say an auto body shop, you know, anything where you're going to have machines running on any type of diesel or gasoline or whatever, you're going to have elevated readings. So if I were to have the trucks in here, we have a ton of trucks here at Station 11. If I were to have them running just to warm up and stuff, if I were to have them running here in the bay, I could easily exceed 35 parts per million. And just breathing that for a few minutes, that's not going to do anything to me. Right? Something to consider whenever you're about to use these, make sure that you're using them in a visibly clean atmosphere. What I mean by visibly clear is don't take these in to a smoke-filled environment or anything like that. If you see that environment and you're thinking, I probably shouldn't be taking my SCBA off at that point, you also should not be taking these meters in here. Whatever you do, do not clip these onto your jacket as soon as you're about to be fighting fire or doing a search or anything like that. You will absolutely destroy these things. These things are ideally used at relatively clean stuff. You don't want to take a CO meter into a house and immediately get 500 ppm of CO. It's going to ruin this thing, okay? Remember, your alarm is 35 ppm, so start thinking, okay, if the air looks clean, it's probably good enough to be able to do this. These are expensive. They do take a little bit of maintenance on special ops end and whatnot, so consider that. If you get them dirty and contaminated and whatnot, you're going to be without a meter for a little bit, so something to consider. Cool.